easy fall in love. So come give me a call.
Well, I better not get copyrighted. Thank you very much. Hi, sisters. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is 𝓩𝓪𝓬𝓱 and today we are going to be taking another beautiful journey on remembering who the hell you are. Listen, you are the creator. You are the director. You are the operant power over your reality. You are the one that gets to narrate, decide, and create the story that you are living on a daily basis. And I feel like we forget this, but at the end of the day, everything is you. You are source. You are the reality experiencing itself. So whatever the fuck you want, you can have. We need to stop playing small and we need to stop locking ourselves in our own cages based off of limiting beliefs, past experiences, and traumas that do not serve us or resonate with us anymore. You are constantly evolving as a person and you do not have to hold on to every little experience that happened in your past and dictate it as true for you now. It just doesn't even make sense. Like, it really doesn't make sense to me. I feel like I have lived literally 40 freaking lives in 2025. And the reason being is because I never lock myself in an identity that doesn't actually serve me. I am constantly evolving. I am constantly stepping into a newer, better version of myself and rebranding my entire self-concept. And you have to remember that you are that girl. You are that bitch. You know who the fuck you are and you know what it is that you want. But let's get straight into it. Why am I making this video? The past 2 weeks, I was genuinely going through it. I had gotten out of a dating experience that I got really, really attached to. I was really enjoying it and I was really liking it, but I just knew it wasn't aligned, and that is a whole other story. But anyways, I started to go through this mental spiral of feeling unlovable, and it started to portray in every area of my life because I didn't want to make content at that moment. I didn't want to even go to the gym. I was constantly crying and there was no actual explanation why, as if my body was just holding onto this negative, stagnant energy, and I did not feel like myself. And I genuinely was like, what the hell is going on every single day, okay? Because the problem is that it is so easy to lose yourself when you look for validation outside of you. And that was exactly what I was doing. I was looking for new connections, new distractions to avoid the pain of feeling rejected, to avoid the pain of feeling not good enough. And at the end of the day, it wasn't even that I wanted to find someone new and share this love that I had in myself. It was that I wanted to mask this void that I had created because of the story I was telling myself about the experience. And the funny thing is, guys, is that I was even the one to end it. I'm like, I didn't even get broken up with. I was the one to separate this fucking thing. So anyways. The mind just plays weird games on us. This video is going to be a conglomeration of all of the actionable steps, mindset shifts, perspective shifts, manifestation techniques, and all of the above that help me remember who the fuck I am. Because guys, I am the baddest bitch ever.
I am literally amazing. I am amazing. I am kind. I am beautiful. I am sexy. I am creative. I am successful. I am disciplined. Guys,
this is my self-concept. This is my identity. This is just who I am, okay? And you guys are already at that point. You guys already are this fucking person, and you just have to step into it and believe it, okay? So how did I do that? Well, number one is that you have to regulate your nervous system. You simply cannot manifest from a state of being in survival, okay? Most that you are going to get is maybe creating the wheel, okay? Because that is what the people back in the early days that were in survival, they accomplished. Good for them. We want to build skyscrapers and build our dream careers, our dream body, manifest our dream partner, have clear skin half the fucking time, and just live our dream lives, okay? So what we need to do first is that we need to completely feel and process all of the emotions that are still negatively affecting us, like my computer screen monitor that I still haven't fixed. For me personally, I was avoiding the feeling of being alone with myself because I felt so unlovable and alone that I was doing any and everything I could to just distract myself from that feeling. But the minute that I deleted all my apps and I just sat with myself in silence and I cried out all the emotions of feeling so alone and heartbroken once again, I realized that A, it wasn't that bad, and that B, it allowed me to finally begin to step into this higher version of myself. I wanted to avoid feeling these emotions so badly and just skip that entire step entirely and immediately feel like the confident bad bitch that I know I am to be. But that's not how it works, guys. You, again, cannot manifest from a state of being where you are constantly in fight or flight, where you are constantly anxious, where you are constantly going up and down every single day. The next thing is that you need to start understanding your triggers so that you can start controlling your reactions in reality, because the way that you react, especially up in here, will start to influence your reality externally. Because the thing about manifestation is that you also need to have the discipline to be able to discern yourself from what you are seeing externally versus what you are telling yourself on the inside. Because if you are looking at yourself in the mirror and you are looking at the body that you don't want to have, you are looking at the character that you don't really enjoy being that much, there needs to be some level of faith on the inside that there is a version of you out there that is the version of you that you want to be, that has the body that you want to have, that is the character that you are proud of to wake up as, okay? So you need to notice the reaction or the trigger that you are having. You need to then identify that trigger and connect it to a deeper wound that you are feeling on the inside. What childhood trauma is this? Do you have some type of fucking PTSD at the end of the day? What past experience are you relating this current experience to? And then you need to begin to heal and release it so that this has no more power over you, so that you can move on, so that you can start creating the life of your dreams, okay? When I was in my healing stage, probably like sophomore year of high school, I remember I would do shadow work probably once a week, probably even almost every other day at that point, because there were so many things that I had developed from being gay, from being overweight, so many things that I needed to work through. And the minute that I just started to become aware of these triggers, aware of these experiences, I got power over them and they no longer affected me the same way. I decided at that point how I was going to react to them. It wasn't this impulsive trigger that immediately made me jump out of my seat and want to scream and kill everyone around me. And lastly is that you need to let go of what is no longer serving you. You cannot step into the newer version of yourself and you cannot remember who the fuck you are that is powerful, confident, sexy, living their best life if you're still holding on to things that do not resonate with that version of yourself, that do not make you actually feel good about yourself at the end of the day. You cannot manifest the new if you are holding on to the old. You cannot plant new seeds in last season's soil. Next is going to actually be the actionable steps and the mindset shifts that we need to start taking in order to craft and remember this desired version of ourselves and step into them, okay? Like a video game character, you need to craft the persona of the character you want to be. And then you need to start following in their footsteps. You need to ask, what do they do? How do they feel? How are they acting on a daily basis? You need to get to a point where you are having emotional coherence, which means that your thoughts, your actions, your words, and your emotions are all lined up with the desired version of yourself that you want to be. For me personally, when I was going through it and I was emotionally spiraling, I had to start doing the things that I knew would make me feel like the highest version of myself, would make me and help me remember who the hell I am. And so what did I do? I started to go to bed earlier. I started to wake up earlier. I started to eat healthier intentionally. I started to work out more, started to step back into the things that I knew made me feel good. I started to do cleansing rituals again. I started to watch self-concept videos. I started to visualize the dream version of myself. I started to do all these mini practices that in the moment, they maybe aren't that powerful. They maybe aren't completely life-changing, but on a daily basis, they reaffirm who you are and they allow you to step into that version of yourself and they compound on top of each other. And the more that you do them, the more you will realize as days, weeks, months go by, that ball starts to get rolling. And then once that ball is rolling, it is practically impossible to stop. I feel like I have such, keeping this ball analogy going, a intensely rolling ball down the hill, like it's literally like causing an avalanche every day, that it is impossible for me to quit. Like I will never regress back into the old version of myself. I will have phases and periods in my life where maybe I am spiraling, maybe I am going through it. Even this past 2 weeks, I'm like, but that does not define me who I am. I do not identify with that spiral. I allow it to happen. I experience it. I validate it. I say, okay, I see you. I understand you. And then I step back into the version of myself that I know I am to be. I have the identity in my mind of who I am, and I choose to resonate and identify with that. Not the spiral, not my triggers, not the emotional, unhealed parts of myself. Those parts are beautiful. Those parts are valid. I am not going to ignore those parts and pretend like they do not exist. However, I am not going to let those define me as well and take me out of the version of myself that I don't want to be, okay? When you are at rock bottom, you are free from your resistance and your old identity. And that is when the true reinvention can begin, because you have a blank canvas that you get to start painting and creating on. So what we need to do is we need to start to replant the seeds of belief in our subconscious mind that will then create the neural pathways that will reaffirm to us the desired identity that we want to have. What are the ways that we do this? Okay, well, we can do affirmations. We can go on a mental diet. We can, again, start to step into that intentional emotional coherence. The way that we do this is by thinking, okay, what is it that the desired version of ourselves has, thinks, and wants, and does? What is it that you want? What is it that you desire? Okay, let's say that you want your dream body. Okay, to get into emotional coherence where our thoughts, our words, our actions, and our beliefs are all lined up in that exact same way, what do? Okay, well, we tell ourselves, or we start to journal and script, or we start to visualize the version of ourselves that has our dream body. But we are not just visualizing it to visualize it. We're not just trying to mimic this desired highest version of ourselves. We are stepping into and embodying the version of ourselves who has that experience. Even if you don't have it right now, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it feels like you are gaslighting yourself at first, you start to plant that seed, because the more often that you plant that seed, the more often that you experience and embody that version of yourself, the more you are watering that seed, the more that it can grow and bloom and help you transcend into that version of yourself that you desire to be. Your identity is a habit. It is not a fixed thing. It is not set on one determined path, on destiny, on fate. You get to decide every single waking day of your life who you are going to be. You can rebuild your identity at any time. It genuinely does not matter. The version of you that feels radiant isn't gone. They are just lost under the rubble of old stories that you continue to tell yourself. Another thing for the girls that are genuinely just going through it right now, you were never meant to keep what made you forget yourself in the first place. And if something comes into your life and it knocks you off your roster and it makes you forget who you are, it makes you step out of alignment with what it is that you are desiring and the version of yourself that you are trying to be, it is not meant for you, and it will be removed, and it will be hard, and you will go through it. Guys, I was crying every day for probably a week and a half, and I felt nothing like myself, and I literally was spiraling. But guess what, guys? You will climb out of it. You will step back into the version of yourself that you know yourself to be. And yes, it's not going to always be this linear climb. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be this easy, beautiful journey. There will be days where you spiral again, where you are emotional, where you are going through it. But the simple act and the habit of trying to build that version of yourself up from day one means that by day 300, you won't even have to try anymore. That will just naturally be who you are. Meaning that when you start to spiral, you don't even identify with it. You would not look at that spiral and be like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening again. I just keep spiraling. I keep going into these phases in my life. You are going to look at that as, oh, this is really interesting. Or, oh, this is just a natural human emotional response to the experience that my physical body is having, not my soul, not my self-concept, not my identity, and not who I actually am. Okay? Stepping back into the version of yourself that you know yourself to be and remembering who you are is not you chasing confidence. It is that you are remembering and taking back your power. When you realize that you are the creator, you will stop auditioning for the roles that you already own. Again, you are the director, you are the creator, and you are the operant power of your reality. So let's stop playing small. Let's stop pretending that that is not true. Let's stop pretending like you do not have a control and say in everything that you experience in your reality, okay? If you have been feeling lost lately, I want you to take an actionable step, and I want you to start intentionally trying to at least step into that higher version of yourself once a week. Whether that is waking up earlier, whether that is going for a walk, getting some fresh air, going to spend time in some nature. And secondly, speak kinder to yourself. Understand that maybe this is just a phase. Understand that maybe what you are going through is temporary. This too shall pass, babe. Because it is in those small decisions that you start to remember that you are the person that you have always envisioned and that they are within you. It is not something externally that you have to seek. Nothing will come and save you and be a constant reminder of who you are. You are the only one that can genuinely provide that for yourself. And sure, things might come in, they might be good distractions, they might remind you a little bit temporarily, and they might feel good, but you need to make sure that you are the pillar in your life that decides on a daily basis to express and experience the version of yourself that you know you are to be. And at some point, you will realize that you are never lost, you are simply just disconnected. You do not need to find yourself, you just simply need to come home to yourself, and that every boundary you set, every habit you change, and every time you choose peace over chaos, over ego, that is you remembering who the fuck you are. And that is going to be it, guys. Mic drop moment. Thank you. That is going to be it for today's video. I really, really hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I genuinely loved filming this one, and this one really meant a lot to me because throughout that entire week and a half to 2 week experience, all I wanted to do was just make content for you guys. I just wanted to sit in front of the microphone and talk about my experiences, talk about my journey. Again, you are the creator of your reality. You are the operant power. Remember who the fuck you are. Yeah, I see you. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it, guys. I hope that you have a great rest of your day and an even better life. And I hope that you guys found this video educational. If you did not, I at least hope you found it entertaining. And I love you guys so much. So thank you guys so much for the support. I love and I read all of your guys' comments, and they always make my day. So thank you very much. And I'll see y'all in the next one.